We're working in the counties. In Spartanburg County, we're going to be doing a fundraiser for the Spartanburg County. We're actually doing it at Gordon in my home, but we're trying to get every county to be empowered to do their own fundraising so that they can promote good, solid, conservative candidates. We're putting together some regional hubs, and again, this is something that with Campaign for Liberty, if there are those of you in this room that want to help us organize that, we would love for your involvement. We have a county party chairman's association, and let me just do this if I can. Are any of you in this room, and if you could raise your hand, party chairman for your county, for the Republican Party? There are none in here. Well, we've started a program. You are?
Precinct officers.
Precinct officers, that's awesome. We have started a program. Benny Kinlaw is the chairman of Barnwell County, and he is pulling together on a monthly basis all of the party chairmen so that we can begin a communication process. When that works well, what we may do is move it to exactly what you mentioned, your precinct level, so that precincts can then, whether it's in pods or whatever, have a good communication structure, because we think that the forces that are against us right now really are those that are being forced upon us from the national level. What Obama is doing with healthcare, all of these crazy initiatives that are transcending themselves into the state of South Carolina are the types of things that we really need to mobilize against, and frankly, it is through these pods of work that we can do that. We have something called Project 2060, and it's, again, a precinct organization across the state of South Carolina, and that's going to be rolled out in January, and you'll hear a whole heck of a lot more about that. And Talbert, I'd ask if you're having these regional meetings or meetings, if I can come back and really talk about programs of work in your next meeting and then give people the opportunity to engage at that point. It would be really important. We've got some recruitment goals, and I'm gonna again ask for help, because I think if you are intellectually honest with people and say what you need help with, and they will come to the task. At this moment, we do not have a declared candidate for the state superintendent of education. And frankly, school choice, as most of you know, is a paramount issue for the Republican Party and for the state of South Carolina. And we really don't have a candidate that has put themselves forward. And I'm inviting you all, if you know educators or if you know individuals that are in the business community that have a passion and a penchant for changing status quo in our education system, please bring them forward. Most of the other constitutional offices have positions filled, but part of what I would think the Campaign for Liberty would do would be to help find candidates, because I believe that elections matter. For each and every one of you here, as you watch what's going on with Sonia Sotomayor and some of the national issues, it transcends to an electorate that chose a president, and the policies that are now coming down from that person have really made a tremendous shift in what I think the well-being of our country is. And so again, I'm inviting you all to engage in that as well. And then training. We are actually beginning a training program on the 25th of July. We are going to have, and I think it's a 5-hour training session for individuals that want to understand more about press, want to understand more about candidate recruitment. It's something that really we've invited our executive committee to invite their tier down. So it's actually a 5-hour symposium, so to speak, where speakers come in. And Talbert, if you want to collect names of individuals that would like to participate, we'd absolutely love for that to happen as well. Then we have a whole piece called technology. And if you all, again, did your analysis of what we lost in terms of outreach, we really were outplayed, and we did not compete well with the Democrats when it came to technology. And so we have been working very, very hard. We've had one technology summit. We actually held it down at Suggs and Kelly, and we had a number of organizations represented. And we took a great deal of time, effort, and energy to kind of scope out or score programs of work to build the best technology that we can to make ourselves so competitive with technology across the United States. And this piece of technology will be capturing data that will help us secure and retain a good conservative base in the General Assembly and moving forward. Those of you that have a tech background, we're inviting you to participate. So again, as I mentioned, these items of work, when you get the pad of paper that's passed around, if there's something that you have traction with, please sign up and we'll be back in touch with you. The integrated technology that I've talked about is going to be doing a lot more social networking than we've ever done before, and it's got it will be so sophisticated but easy to navigate that we can have a free-for-all and a better communication conduit. The first in the South status is very important. Most of you know that we had 2 debates in the state of South Carolina, and I think it was very, very important for the United States of America to see that the state of South Carolina was open to Republican candidates. Let me ask you this. How many of you attended the Fox debate? You did? So there was a good contingent of you that attended. And then in Horry County, the second one, how many of you attended? All right, so there's a good representation here. Well, that first in the South status is very important to secure, and so we're working hard nationally to make certain that the state of South Carolina retains that position. And it's something that Glenn McCall and I, frankly, will be traveling across the United States on 2 occasions in the next 6 months to make certain that the Republican states at large understand that we believe we put our flag in the sand, and the state of South Carolina needs to retain that. And that's a tough thing because everyone wants that because of the media exposure, because it brings in these presidential candidates, and it's a great vetting tool. And you all also know that the state of South Carolina has indicated the winner of the presidential primary since inception. So it's a very, very important thing for the state of South Carolina for presidential candidates to be vetted, and it's an important thing for us as the party to have. We're going to build a media center, and I actually spoke with a gentleman, where's Mike, that I spoke with, our construction, Mike from up in the Rock Hill area. If any of you are in the field of construction, architecture, what we're doing is we've got a facility that's pretty solid in Marion Street, right up here on Marion Street, but we're actually going to build out a portion of it, and we're going to invite everyone. And again, I say this to you all, it would be something that the Campaign for Liberty could use when we have this thing built out, so you could actually do, your videoing and webcasting from that location. It is something that if you are a Republican, you can come in and use. You just schedule it like you would anything else, but we are very clear the YRs will be invited to participate. Any group that is like-minded, that is under the umbrella of the Republican Party, we want you to have every opportunity to communicate and grow and build as well. We're building our database. We obviously have some nuances or some data that comes to us from the Republican National Committee, and we also have information that we have cultivated on the ground, but we're working very hard on doing a better job through technology and through snail mail, through social networking, to bring more people in, to grow our party, and to be more concise with our message. We started Victory early. I don't know, those of you that are familiar with Victory, can I see? Victory is basically, thanks. Victory is very important to the state. Typically it's begun in June of next year, right after the primary. We started it this year to help organize ourselves. Senator DeMint has been very, very gracious. Traditionally, it's the senator that is running for that election cycle that kind of champions it. So Senator DeMint is the person and his team that are really integrally involved in that. And then we have a belief and a vision that if we can endow a portion of the Republican Party so that, frankly, it's self-sustaining, it would be so, so helpful. So that is giving you a brief update on what we've done in 8 weeks' time. We are hyper-organized and vigilant and spending a tremendous amount. Now I'm going to take you to the 2 issues that I think I've heard you all mention as core issues that you're concerned about, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. And I think that really is the most engaging time for me, and I'm looking forward to that opportunity.